Alexandrova at 10 has been a really good player for a long time. This win-loss record, 47-25, and she's not playing challengers.
Whoa.
A win in Linz. I mean, just consistent every single week. And I'm happy that she made the top 10. You're talking about someone not winning the 100-meter dash. Alexandrova is a really good athlete. She might win that race. Like, flat off both sides, is always there. I was looking through the results before he went on, and it's like, okay, well, how'd she do? I'm like, well, she had a lot of deep runs and then just lost to Iga.
It's pretty good.
I mean, I think this is a well-deserved top 10. I don't know that there was a final or a semi of a major on the books, but a lot of quarterfinals, semifinals, like doing work every week.
She got into the top 10 for the first time north of age 30. That's grounds for applause in itself. But no, I mean, it's sort of the Mertens model that we've talked about. Just week in, week out, she's getting it done. And, not everyone's a major winner and a major contender. The cast is really enriched for players who just come to work and are solid professionals. And I think that's the case here.
Mirra Andreeva at number 9. Now, in April, when she's 5, I think we're all going, oh, she's going to make a run to like 2-3 here. I think obviously played great in the Middle East, played great and wins at Indian Wells, beats Sabalenka. I think we're going, okay, the doors are coming off because like the eye test work too. Serves bigger than I think people give her credit for, moves amazingly well, has some variety, but I don't think when she was 5 that we thought she was going to have a 9 next to her name. And that has more to do with the fact that we think she looks like a future major winner potentially. But I thought this was the year where it was like, oh, I'm going to be, top 4 in the world for the next 10 years now.
Yeah, I think this was a case of getting dinged up. I mean, I don't think there's a crisis here, but this was a tale of a first half of the year and a second half of the year. Would she win Indian Wells again? I wish that I don't want to harp on the WTA website, but she did. She did what Maddie did, right? Did she not beat Iga and Sabalenka in succession to win Indian Wells? One of my favorite, just sidebar, one of my favorite moments of the year. Do you remember the arts and crafts project she made for Conchita Martinez?
Yes.
At Wimbledon when Conchita played in the Legends? Oh, it's fantastic. It was a real glimpse into just this relationship, a healthy relationship with a player and her coach, but also just we forget these are teenagers. So Conchita Martinez plays the Legends event at Wimbledon, and Andreeva's sitting there with a homemade. Isn't that awesome?
I'm showing Andy right now a sign that she has. She's wearing like a goofy hat, and it says, "Let's go, Senorita Top Spin."
That's
Senorita Top
You
Spin.
are golden.
Exactly.
It's just like she's just in the stands like a normal teenage fan.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Props to Conchita Martinez also, by the way. Like, we talk about all these super coaches. Wins Wimbledon in 1994 on what was probably her least favorite service, beating one. Is Martina Navratilova any good on grass?
Pretty good.
On grass, pretty good player, right? Lefty.
Steps in, is like, okay, I'll coach Muguruza a little bit, a couple Grand Slams, and guiding Andreeva. Props to Conchita Martinez as well. That sign is hilarious.
Yeah.
And Andreeva, it's like I find myself really wanting her to do well because of these moments. Like, if she's number 1 in the world and doing this shit, this is a dream for marketing for the WTA Tour. Mm-hmm. Like, always has a big personality, always has something to say. It does not subscribe to the, okay, let's just, you remember the movie Hitch when Will Smith was trying to teach Kevin James how to dance?
Yeah.
He's like, 12 and 2. This is where you live.
Yeah,
12 and 2. No arms, 12 and 2. She does not subscribe to that when she is doing press and PR. I think she's a shining light in the game. And also, like, if she doesn't play well in the Middle East and she doesn't play well in Indian Wells, we're looking at like her being 20 in the world, right? This is going to be her first kind of real life test of having to defend points, right? And we say like all rankings aren't equal. We've talked about some people that have, FAA has 6 months of runway where he didn't win hardly any matches, right? So his number 5 in the world going into next year is different than Andreeva's number 9, where it's all kind of front loaded. So she's gonna have to play well from the word go next year, JW.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the beauties of tennis, but one of the frustrations too, which is these points don't come equally spaced out. So, when Andreeva goes to Indian Wells, there will be an element of pressure there. But I think just sort of big picture, you look at her game. You mentioned her serve, which I think is one of the more underrated shots in women's tennis. She's 18 years old.
It's only getting better.
Yeah, it's only getting better. Exactly.
I'll tell you, one of my favorite players on earth to watch. Like, I find myself, if I'm clicking through channels and just come across one of her matches. You have that. Do you ever have that movie that, like, whenever it's on, you watch it till the end?
Yeah.
Like Shawshank Redemption. You know, a sneaky one is League of Their Own is one of the greatest movies.
I was going to say Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt.
What? All right. Well, jeez. You want to lay down a bed of nails while driving down the street? Jeez. Okay. Anyways, so producer Mike's terrible answer notwithstanding, do you really watch Joe Dirt every time?
No.
Oh.
Yes. David Spade?
Yeah, it's a great movie.
I didn't know. Jeez.
American icon.
Don't tell Eddie Murphy that.
We're sidetracked.
Sorry.
But do you know who's like that equivalent to me of a tennis player is Jasmine Paolini.
Yeah.
Like, if I come across
the old Joe Dirt, Jasmine Paolini segue.
The old, I mean, how are people still listening to ours? Like, we've enjoyed this run of like the last 2 years because we know it's coming to an end. Yeah.
It's the end of the year.
It's over.
It's the end of the year. Start fresh next week.
I watch her. I don't care if it's doubles. I don't care if it's. I have so much time to watch Jasmine Paolini because it's like she's happy, she's pissed, she's figuring out a way to win. She's like this tiny package of I don't know. I'm happy that she has become a consistently top 10 player. I don't know that, before 2 years ago, I would have spent that amount of time getting to know her game, ins and outs, who she can beat. She's just joy. Like, I just love watching her play. I never change the channel when she's on, ever.
It's funny. She made that run at Roland Garros, and it was sort of like, oh, we've got this fluky winner, this Italian journeyman, has a magical and then you know what? She made the final at Wimbledon. And I think that sort of writ small is what's happened here to her career. I think everybody sort of said, oh boy, what's her ranking going to be in 2025? And whatever the cliche is, the stagecoach turns into a pumpkin. And you know what? She's still getting it done. She's still winning a lot of matches, and she's doing it in singles and doubles. She's fun to watch. She's a good athlete. She's a really fun shot maker. She's just an absolute joy. She also, sidebar, I'm trying to find this guy's name because I feel like we don't do this enough with tennis. Ray Jubilo. Did you guys see this photo, the tennis photo of a lifetime? Did you ever, I should drop this in the chat. Did you ever see the photo of her that this guy took at the U.S. Open of her with the racket over her head?
In front of her face. Yeah.
I feel like that gets bonus points. She was in the right place at the right time in so many ways. But no, we can put that. I just put that in the chat. Paolini is a great. That's cool. Isn't that amazing? That's amazing. Anyway, she's great. She got it done once again, and she's ranked higher. She's doing this every day because she's playing doubles at a comparably high level to her singles. Love her.
Do we think there's any coincidence with partnering up with Irani and then all of a sudden becoming like a very intelligent tennis player, like actually playing week in and week out? I think Irani is one of the smartest tennis minds on earth. I think she's a genius. I mean, if you got to watch her during the U.S. Open mix, just chopping the best players in the world, just with positioning and shot selection and everything else. I mean, she is incredibly fun to watch. There is, I'd imagine only good things can come from that partnership for Paolini, even when she's solo on the court and not standing next to Irani. Is that a leap, JW?
Yeah, and I think sometimes we have these coach-player pairings, and you say like, Brad Gilbert's, what's Brad Gilbert teaching Andy Roddick? They play totally differently. What's Juan Carlos Ferrero know about this level of Alcaraz? Sarah Irani's sort of a talent maximizer, someone who is undersized physically, but has figured out how to work with positioning and spins and hands at the net. It's a good sort of, if you're looking for a comp, and there's probably close to 10 years of age difference, but I think Sarah Irani has a lot of wisdom she can pass off to a similarly undersized but talented player.
So the way that like a tennis player's mind works is not always rational. Like Maddie Keys wins in Australia, and to everyone else, it's like, oh, for the rest of her life, it's going to be this, like, it doesn't work that way. Like Maddie, the probably my favorite 3 days of the entire year were Maddie coming through and winning a slam, but also beating Iga and Sabalenka. Those were probably the two best matches of the year as well, and it was back-to-back. Like 2025 shot out of a cannon because of Maddie Keys. Now, after she wins Australia, she's saying, I'm going to be ranked 7 or I'm going to be ranked 3. I say, who cares? But I don't think that's the way that she views it, right? I think if you were to ask her, it's like, oh, I could have played better in the second half. I was with, I got smoked in Dingles by Bjorn Fratangelo, who's husband/coach. And we're just rapping about tennis. And he sends me like the 6 month splits on her serve and pace and second serve percentage points won. Like they're not just satisfied, is what I'm saying with her winning this one. It's not just free and clear and easy, even though outside looking in, that's the way the rest of us want her to feel, but it just doesn't work that way. But I thought that those were the best 3 days in women's tennis this year. Obviously, I have a bias because I'm a huge fan of Maddie and Bjorn personally, but also I think it was the highest level of tennis, the most dramatic, the most at stake. Can she get over this kind of hump and this mental block, and then how open she was afterwards, and be like, no, this didn't just happen. This took a lot of mental work. Like this took a lot of therapy for me to get to this point. So I was happy to see the payoff in a very human story, JW.
Kindness wins. I think that's a good point too. It wasn't just the result, and unfortunately it happened in the US at 3 a.m, but go back and watch the latter 10% of those matches, and it's like we were talking about the other day with the men's Roland Garros final. The quality of tennis that she brought to the biggest 10-minute interval of her career is something that will really define her. I mean, tell me if I'm I don't think she won a match after Cincinnati. I mean, her second half of the year was just a non-entity, and she still finished in the top 10. I don't know if Bjorn sort of talked about her health. That's always kind of been something that's bugged her career, but she clearly physically didn't have it. And I think she won her last match of the season in August, right?
Yeah,
yes.
I do.
Yes, you're right.
I do think when you have these kind of like life moments where you're defining the last 12 years of work in 3 days, I do think that it has a tail. Now, the people that are consistently 1, 2, 3 in the world and never leave, I don't think it is I don't think it's a criticism of Maddie to say that like that's what separates the Federers, the Nadals, the Novaks, the Sabalenkas, the Swiateks, who are just like these crazy humans who can like reset and dive back. And Coco is unbelievable at this. Like takes all the criticism, takes all, but it's not easy. Like imagine your career being in your entire tennis life from the time you're 6 years old being defined on if you get through these 3 days in their 3-hour knockdown drag out matches. Yeah. I'm not shocked there's a tail to that, right? Like I'm not sure that there's mental scar tissue as well. And I know right now she's like, I could have finished the year better. And also I promise you in 5 years, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I would have taken that for the next 2 years of losses.
Where do I sign?
It's hard to be rational in a real time sport that's extremely emotional. It was everything that I wanted for Maddie and Bjorn and Max and her entire team. It was just my favorite run of the year for many, many, many reasons. So congrats to Maddie. Massive, massive, massive win down there. Hopefully more to come in 2026. And if not, fuck it. You did it.
Yeah.
You did it. I know it doesn't feel that way all the time, but you did it. Amazing. You know how good you have to be consistently to be 6th in the world and go, oh, that was a regression.
And win 53 matches.
And win 53 matches. Jess Pegula is just a stud at tennis. Every week. Her ball flight, I hit with her coming up on 2 years ago now when she missed Australia, and her ball comes in so like deep and flat, and it just eats up the baseline. And it doesn't, like that bird's eye view doesn't do it any favors. You don't get the sense of how heavy she hits the ball. Like, and I don't think people talk about it enough. Like this flat depth that kind of just floats through the court and then just eats up the baseline. Just tough. She's just really good. like she's just good all the time. Is she going to be defined by having to defend second serve points against Sabalenka and Swiatek? Yes. And also, when it gets neutral, she's as good as anyone in the world, in my opinion.
We went back and looked at some of her results from the first 5 years of her career. She's such a steady presence. She's such a regular. She's winning titles. She's winning 50+ matches as a matter of ritual. Go back and look at the first 5 years of her career, and her trajectory ought to be an inspiration for so many players. And now she's more, who's number 6? I was just thinking this. It's not a perfect comparison, but the number 6 player on the men's side is Taylor Fritz, and there's some real similarities. It just pros, win lots of matches, do what they need to do, every incremental advantage. They become this sort of, like we're talking about Taylor Fritz, has become this sort of rational, moral voice of the tour, and that's kind of become Jess's role. And, is a major there for the taking? Maybe, but what a career turnaround, and what a consummate pro.
Yeah, she's a stud, and she's just cool. She's just cool. Like she has this unbelievable ability with, like, you look at her life and what you think she should act like, and she's just a person. Like, she's the best.
Good hang.
She's good hang. She's just ripping beers after she loses and taking pictures. Like, she's just fun, right? Even when she's a little salty, it's fun.
Yeah.
Like, she's clever. Like, I don't know. I got a lot of time for Jess Pegula. I think she's awesome.